Good morning, everybody. I had some of the worst nightmares that I've ever had in my life last night. May talk about one or two later, but they were really, really bad. However, I woke up and babies were on the bed with me all night. I'd wake up from the nightmare, and it was such a relief. Get up, oh God, it's just been a dream. And one of the babies would be next to me, and both the babies would be next to me. And then in the morning, look at this. Agita came and climbed into my chest. And then she settled there, and one of the babies came. I don't know if I was actually able to record this, but he gave her a kiss, and she didn't hiss at him. Now, in our world, this is I'm speechless. This is the best support I could have ever had. She let one of her baby brothers kiss her, and didn't hiss or hit him, and didn't even get up. And then he has the sense now not to push his luck. He just kissed her, and then he moved over there, and he jumped down. So, this is well worth fighting to return to, And then the other thing, I got a very, very nice email or text from my friend, who's having a bit of a rough time of her own, but she sent a very, very supportive text, and she, she's the one who believes strongly in donkeys, and if she ever has a farm, she wants to get a donkey to protect the hens, because apparently donkeys are big protectors. So she was, she had a very sweet thought of, symbolically wanting to, sponsor a donkey to protect me while, to keep the foxes out of the hen house. And I told her that I think that the foxes are already in the hen house, but it's okay, even without a donkey. I've got my kids and I've got my friends, and that's enough for now, I think. I'm having very bad dreams, but it's okay. I mean, like I said, I stepped off the edge, and cutting off my my former analyst, the person who has been guiding me through the dreams for the last 28 years. I mean, that's going to have an effect, And then all the other stuff that's been happening, the bad dreams are, they're probably to be expected. But, at least I wake up from them and I feel tremendous relief. And the kids are there. And then I got the text from my friend, which really, really, really helped. It's better than a sponsored donkey. So now I'm going to get up. And I'm going to, step by step, I'm going to feed the kids. I'm going to write out my nightmares. I'm not sure I want to, but I think I need to for the record. I don't think I'll mention them in the podcast. They're really a bit too dark. So I will write out the dreams. And then try to make a morning entry. If I can do that, that's something I haven't done in a long time. Even if it's to record our old dreams. But on the whole, it's good. I'm here, and the kids are, the kids are here, and they're with me, and they're being very supportive. And look at that. I had never thought I would see the day where Agita would allow one of her baby brothers to kiss her and not hiss at him. That's, that is a watershed in our family. So it's, a sign that things are going to turn around. And with that said, I've been crying a bit, which I was in yesterday's podcast. That's okay, I think I think it's a sort of a cathartic thing right now. It's okay. My friend cries a lot at movies and things, so I said I'm kind of turning into her. Anyway, all is well. I mean, could be much, much, much worse. And I am clear-ish, clear. I mean, clear. I said the ish because I'm not really counting anymore, but it has been a few days. It's been 5 days, even though I'm not counting, but it's been 5 days, so that's a good sign then, Okay, gotta get up. Now, I saw one baby came to kiss his brother, and yes, we did. And them. The other baby's there. So we were all in close proximity. So we got one baby there, and we got Agita just getting up. And we got Agita there. And we got the other baby there. So, plan for today, itinerary. Nutty Professor, this level of craziness itinerary is feed kids, clear litter box, make a journal entry, morning entry to record nightmares and the current state of affairs, which is actually could be much worse, So, and then maybe lunch. It's a Friday. I haven't had my Friday fish cakes. Maybe that'll help, And that way I don't have to agonize over where to eat because I know where I'm going. It's now a couple of hours later and we're all here in the living room. Keith on the ego chair, and one baby there, and one baby there, So we're all in this close proximity. Like that, And I'm here on the sofa, and I just made a morning journal entry. I'm sort of coming back into the routine. So I wrote out the dreams, disturbing, but still. I need to record them. I need to, kind of record this process. So I wrote out the dreams, and I wrote out a brief morning entry about, the events of the night and the events of the day so far, which is a routine that I had been straying from. So that's kind of, it's a good sign. I'm starting to sort of write, at least just the daily journal entries and, the processes and what's happening. I'm kind of back on sort of that track. Now the next step is to be able to actually write about the, get back to the manuscript as it were and write about the more, the more explicit details of the very, very dangerous, explorations of, the underworld. So, but we'll see. We're going to have to ease myself back into that. For now, just journal entries will do. And I did also talk to I replied to my friend. She sent me a very nice text, and I replied, and in some detail. And then I heard from my contractor friend, and about the dryer and stuff, which is I've put it on hold for now. And I said, I will try to get. They're supposed to replace it, but So I talked to him, and he kind of wanted to know what was going on. So and he knows pretty much. But the whole process, not all the little details, but he knows about the addiction and the struggle. So, so I might be meeting him sometime next week because I have to pay for the kitchen counters. So that will be, and I said I want to look. That's something I will look forward to. I've got to sort of start getting back into that. As I return. So in the meanwhile, right now everybody's nicely settled, and I'm just enjoying having, kind of a morning routine, sort of getting back to, the routines that we used to have, and all of us are here. So baby's there, Agita there, me here, and I'm going to now, I think, get ready and leave everybody loose since they seem to get along these days, and just go out for my Friday fish cake Thai lunch. Everybody, I'm here at the Thai restaurant that I usually go to. Haven't been here in a while. The chief on the menu, no more fish cakes. So I'm getting green curry chicken. So I think, even my friend will agree at this point. To everything I've been through and everything I've done, I think, vast amounts of, varied and other shit, I think eating a little dead chicken is the least of my concerns, So apologies to the chicken community as usual, So and now, I'm here. I came here to the vestibule because they're playing a song, Beyonce, Rihanna, one of those, whatever. But I can't, The problem is that if it gets recorded on my thing, then I get blocked. This happened before. It's not really loud. So I just asked for the hot sauce. Okay, this is a green curry chicken and spring roll, green curry chicken, vegetable soup with lots of hot sauce in it. It's good. So it's not the green curry. It's kind of the more yellow green curry, and lots of hot sauce. It's a good value. You get everything in together. But I think in future, what I'll probably do is go elsewhere for Thai lunch. And here, I might come in the... Okay, I'm here at my favorite Thai restaurant. They've changed everything. So there's no more fish cakes on the lunch menu. So I get the green curry chicken, which is kind of more yellow curry chicken, vegetable soup, and, they had a couple of spring rolls and added a lot of sauce. It's okay. It's not bad. But I think next time I come, I'm just going to have come in the evening and have fish cake separately and get fried rice with it or something. Now, I don't think this music is loud enough, so... But still, I don't want to pick it up and then have my podcast, blocked for copyright or something, because sometimes happens, But I'm just going to finish my food. And I've had some thoughts while I was eating, which I'm going to come back to. But with this thing, I might as well record them, because this is what this has become. It's kind of a record of my thoughts and my journey. And I might as well record just to add these thoughts actually while I was eating, Because I've got to thank that chicken bit, So anyway, I'm going to record some thoughts and see if it makes any sense later. It's in terms of frameworks and all of that stuff. I've already said, and even my contractor agreed with me. He said, I don't think you should be counting days anymore, He goes, when you started getting up to the 90s, you were like going, oh, I've done so long, it's 94, it's just kind of, it's time for a binge. So, even my contractor thinks that it wasn't, a good approach. So I'm not going to count days. However, I'm not even going to say return. It's that was a metaphor I used. Campbell, the excursions to the underworld and then the return to the ordinary world, and all of that stuff, and I'm still going to see that, but it's a little different now, And actually, I think Campbell said what I'm about to say, but I didn't quite get it. Yeah, I'm just going to finish that in a second. Thanks. So I'm just going to see if I think he said this, but I was taking it in the way that I was seeing it then, and now I'm seeing it slightly differently. It may make absolutely no difference whatsoever. It may make absolutely no difference whatsoever. But this is I'm trying different things out here. So rather than the ordinary world, heroic journey, comes back with the burn, comes back to the ordinary world, And I was talking about, here I am, I'm back in the ordinary world, and I want to stay here. And I'm counting the days that I stay here, and I'm done with the underworld. I'm done with the explorations. I think that was a mistake, Now, what I'm going to do now is, just in terms of framework of perspective, I'm going to go, look, I have been to the underworld. I have tasted the forbidden food, so to speak, and I have, gone to the different levels of hell, But I've gone for a reason. I've gone because it gave me something. I needed something there. I needed to learn something. I needed some contact. I needed to be a dusty dumpster rodent weasel because that's a part of me, I am also part dusty dumpster rodent weasel, That's part of my shadow. And I was getting stuff there, And I was connecting in a, what society would probably call a very unhealthy way, but, it was very, very powerful shit, with the denizens of the underworld, It's sort of like, if you've seen the Gaiman, what is it, Dreamtime? What's the one with the Lord of the Underworld? I forget now, I really like that series too. But and when he goes, and that's the typical thing for the hero, is to go into the underworld and meet the Lord of the underworld and meet the denizens and come back with something. And there he and he fought. He had a battle with the Lord of the with the woman androgynous. A lot of masculine feminine in this stuff too, by the way, in my own experience too, and androgyny and hermaphrodites and all kinds of stuff, and which is actually something in alchemy as well. But anyway, never mind that. For now, the whole thing is I went to the underworld, many, many times, because it called to me. It pulled to me because, there was something I needed to do there, something I needed to learn, something I wasn't getting here. There was a part of me that needed to be there, It's dangerous, expensive, all of that stuff, But I was able to go. I didn't have to go rob a bank. I didn't have to steal. In a way, access to the mother's funds made it a little easier, and it made it harder to come back because I could stay. I could stay longer, and I could go back the next day if I so desired, which I did so desire in the last couple of years. But now, I went really, really, really deep, And then when I went that deep, and some things clicked and some things triggered, and when I came back, I have come back changed. I don't know, I don't know how, I don't know, but that's what the writing is for. That's what this is for, the podcast. This is part of my boon, So I've come back. I have come back again, as I have so many times, But rather than say, oh, I'm done 100% with that world, and I'm no longer a dusty dumpster road and weasel, that's done. I'm gone. I'm now, a domestic cat, and I'm going to look after my cats, and I'm going to, which I do want to, and I'm going to be with my friends, and I'm going to write, and then I'm going to do only above ground stuff. I'm part of the above ground world, the ordinary world, and I'm just going to go for my lunches, and I will never, ever, ever, ever go back there. I am not a dusty dumpster road and weasel. That's wrong, because I will always be a dusty dumpster road and weasel. That's an aspect of me. It's a part of me, There's a pull for a reason. It pulls to that part of me, So rather than say I will never go back, I think the approach is the one that I articulated in day before yesterday's podcast. I think for now the approach is going to have to be, I don't need to go back right now. I will stay here for as long as I can. I'm going to live here in the here and now with the knowledge that I've come back with, So I've come back. I'm still a dusty dumpster road and weasel. It's a part of me. It will always be a part of me. But at this point, we don't know how long it's going to last. Hopefully forever. Maybe not, But as long as it lasts, I live like a feral cat, semi-feral cat, semi-feral, semi-socialized cat. And my dear friend, the cat rescuer, the local one, helping me this morning, and she's going to come up with and she goes, this is informative. She says that some semi-feral cats, you can't make them domestic. You can't. They won't never what did I call them? Papaya. It's like you might never be. Actually, papaya I think became domestic. But there are some that you can't domesticate. Very sad case. There was one I remember that jumped out of the window and ended up, getting killed by a car. Very, very sad. But she couldn't. She did not want to go the domestic route. She couldn't. She chose the streets. She chose. I don't want to say a cat chose, but as a metaphor for me, So the whole thing with, my friend said that, some semi-feral cats, you can make them semi-social. You can't totally domesticate them 1,000%, 100%, but they can be turned into semi-social cats. And that's going to be my thing. I'm going to be, and she's going to come up with a name. We've got a transitional name now because Saul is done. I mean, I've still got Saul inside me, but I don't want to really explore Saul more. I don't really need to. But Saul is still there, but I need to explore this other part. This semi-feral cat that's metamorphosizing, that's transitioning into a semi-social cat. And, they're going to be a semi-social cat. I'm going to look after my kids. I don't want to, in terms of the binges. For now, I will write about them. I will get something. I will get a connection with that world by writing about it, and sharing what I've learned about that aspect of myself and that world and those people and those characters, for now. So I'll never be totally domesticated, but I want to live like a semi-social cat, socialized cat. For now, there is not. I can't. I think that's part of the problem. Well, as soon as I started saying forever, it's gonna be the here and now, and I think Campbell said that too. Once the hero returns to the insights, they live in the here and now, not in the past, not in the future. Now, I'm going to live a little in the past because I get to write about, what I've learned and what I've learned about others and what I've learned about myself. And these were fascinating, fascinating journeys. Something that most people don't have an option to experience. Most people wouldn't want to, but most people would not have the option to experience that and return, So, and I've returned many times, but now I've returned hopefully a little changed, and so I want to live day by day, looking after my kids, doing my routines, coming for my lunches, writing, sharing what I've been given. I feel that actually almost as an obligation now. The fact that I was able to do all of that and I was able to return, I kind of owe it now. I owe the people that are not returning. I've said this before. I can return. People don't return. Most can't return, So I owe it to them, and I owe it to them to write about them non-judgmentally because, nobody's really done it except W.S Burroughs, So I'm setting myself a very tall task, but I'm going to do it, So I'm going to try it at least. I'm going to try it. And the whole thing with the analyst, and I've been thinking about this, and I'm still feeling sad about that because, he was my guide, he was my mentor, he took me through, inner world, particularly when my parents were here and I was teaching and I needed to be part of the, outside world, and I needed to cope with my parents and I needed to see what the dreams were telling me, and I needed to deal with stress, and I needed not to tell students to fuck off. So he led me through all of that. But at this point, his framework, you can't go back. Drugs are bad. You can't go back. It's, we got to get you back to the ordinary world, and you're going into dangerous places and you shouldn't, even if he didn't push the 12-step, agenda as such. This was his, and that's to be expected of an analyst. He's a good analyst. That's what as I keep saying. It's got to be, it's got to be personalized. And it wasn't quite and he understands, he knows Jung, he knows, alchemy, he knows tarot, he knows all of that stuff, he knows Campbell. But, I think the angle that he was taking to bring me back was not the one that was working for me. I had to come to my own. Now, I've said all this shit, might not work, I could be going on a binge in a week. I don't want to say that, but I could. I have to admit that. I have to acknowledge that. If I don't acknowledge that, if I say that I will never, ever do it again, I will probably do it again. So we're just going to live moment to moment, here and now. A little bit of planning, stuff with the house and all of that, and, talking to my thing, and I gotta take my kids for their, checkups next week or week after, and all of that. So I don't know if this is going to make any sense. I'm going to post this tonight, whether it makes sense or not, and then I will watch it myself, and I'll see, and then I'll work on it, and I'll see what I can add to this tomorrow. So I'm actually thinking of going to wash the car. I don't want to. I'm not feeling it, but the Mercedes is very dirty. And I was going to bring the Mini, as I have been the last couple of days, but I hadn't got the key. And so I brought the Mercedes, which is very dirty. It's been, I almost didn't feel like driving Mercedes because it's the one that took on binges. I didn't drive while actually high, but it's the one that took me to these places and waited outside for me. But then I can't blame the car for that. It's not the car's fault. I'm the one who used it and the car was loyal to me. It waited outside like a faithful chariot, until I was able to return to the ordinary world and put me back. It's a wonderful car. So, I can't hold the fact that it took me to the underworld against it, That's me, that's on me. So it deserves a bath. So I'm going to have to push myself a little. Here come the emotions again. So I think that's a part of that's a part of this, part of where I am, and just being, coming back with this knowledge and with this experience, and where I went so far in. I can't begin to explain it. That's why I have to write it. So, but I'm back. I'm here now. I'm not saying I'm back forever, but I'm with my kids, and just every time I look at my kids, I wasn't crying this morning, but I have been crying. And when I hear from my friends, No, it's so important to me. The most important things to me in this entire world are my kids, my friends. Everything else, the money, the cars, it's not important. It's useful, they're tools. It allows me to do my journeys. It allows me to come back and go through the shit and, podcast about it. Talk about it. Gaze inwardly. And, it allows me to do all of that shit. So, yes, it doesn't hurt to have the other shit, but the cars are just going. And I'm kind of, the Mercedes. It was my loyal chariot. It brought me back. I gotta finish my chicken. Bye for now. Maybe I'll feel better after. I wash the car. Bye for now. Oh, again, anything right now can trigger. So it's gonna trigger a few emotions. Okay, I gotta get out of here. Bye for now. Hello, everybody. You're gonna think I'm really, really mad here, but I'm having these thoughts. I have actually written some of this stuff years ago. Some of these thoughts I've had at different times, at different angles. They're all written, but they're not published. They're all over. I don't know where everything is, in which manuscript, which journal entries, and all of that stuff. But being here now, I see beauty everywhere. That's beautiful. Shopping is beautiful. There's an adventure, there's a connection, I don't want to say there's a connection to the you-know-what. But the beauty! Now, the underworld, that's a different kind of beauty, and that's us. That is Dionysian connection. That's raw beauty. And when you're in it, yes, when you look at it from the outside's perspective, it's terrible. It does terrible things to people. It kills people. It makes people do things that most people wouldn't normally do. But it's pure and simple Godhead. It's Dionysus. It's worship of Dionysus, and it's the ancient mysteries. And that's what pisses me off so much about the 12-step people, is that they take people who have actually connected with the burning bush. They have been in it, and they take them and they go, no, you're so weak that you want to connect with it. You want to be one with it. You're such a weak person. What we're going to do is we're going to make you pray to the fictitious god in the sky with the white beard to take away your cravings for connection with the divine. And that to me, and they do it. They chant and they pray and they go, oh, I'm so weak. The only way my cravings will ever go away is if I ask it up there to take them away. Ridiculous. Anyway, bye for now. I really hope that little clip doesn't get me, the copyright banned, because I've just been thinking about fire and flames, and I'll talk about that in a minute. That's right. My faithful chariot that's waited for me at the gates of hell. By the way, hell and heaven are not the same. That's another thing that, when I say this kind of shit, I'm oversimplifying. So it's really, people are going to think I've completely gone nuts, which I kind of have. But I'm going to talk about this more. But I was just thinking about the flame, and remember the burning bush? And I was talking about, the girl on fire thing. Let's come back to that. Let me watch my faithful chariot, which now I wasn't expecting shoes. I wasn't want shoes. I didn't think I would be able to wash cars today. It's so wet. But after the surface, this chariot had provided, waited for me and brought me back safely. I didn't drive high, but still, those are really, those are journeys, and this brought me back each time. So anyway, here's a bath. Bye for now. Dry it, and then I dried it, and then this poor guy over there, he put his brush just against this thing, and somebody stole it. And I said, it's not me. I wouldn't steal a brush. He goes, oh, it wasn't you. Somebody stole the brush. But anyway, so, my chariot that took me to, is both I don't want to oversimplify this. I don't want to be like, the whole Judeo-Christian thing of, oh yeah, you're going to hell and you're coming back, and, Dante and the Inferno and the levels of the Inferno and Purgatorio and the Paradiso and all of that stuff. It's all at once. The connection, the worship of Dionysus, the actually becoming one with Dionysus, with the various, substances, as well as the, Dionysian activities. And less said about those, but that's it's all very Dionysian. Let's just say when becomes one with the god. So that's the whole thing. Is again, it's really. I normally, no, I don't like using the G word because it's so watered down and misunderstood, and I'm not this. I would much rather call myself an atheist, but which I still consider myself as one. But this whole the Dionysian thing, this is not Judeo-Christian. This is something very basic, much more basic. So that's what really annoys me, is that people worship at the altar of Dionysus. That it's the strongest so-called, quote, spiritual, unquote, connection possible. Sex and drugs, basically. But it's like, at once, at pretty high levels. So you're connecting with, with Dionysus at that level, and you're at one with the god, with the energy, Dionysian mysteries, you're initiated, all of that stuff. And then the way that people are brought back is like, oh, you're a weak person, and the only way that you can ever come back is you've got these cravings. And these cravings are, can only be taken away if you pray to that one, the good in the sky, to take away your cravings because you're such a bad person, it just boggles my imagination that people go for that shit, and that it's allowed, So, but anyway, so here I am, I'm back, and yeah, my friend says, oh, the cravings of the pull is good. We're not talking about, just the pull to go and party. We're talking about the pull of a god, of the Godhead, not even a god. I just hate using these terms. I hate it, because it oversimplifies something much, much deeper and much more primordial and much more powerful and something very mystical. And people have described it, people have talked about it, and they can use mythological stuff. But at this point, I want to keep it simple. So yes, the pull is to that. So that's a pull that, even, ordinary world doesn't quite. But as I said, the ordinary world also has the, has the divine. Always, I felt it for a long time, and I used to, when I used to come out of classes, I used to kind of go around appreciating the beauty and everything and everyone, and but now, the beauty has been a little bit more consecrated. It's a particular way, and after you've tasted at that level, it's very hard to come back to this level. But it's there. It's always there. There's a beauty in the car wash, and there's a meaning in every little thing. And that's what I've been going through the last couple of days. Every little thing has a meaning. And then that will drive you mad. The symbols. So you have to tone it down. It's okay. Don't worry, my friend. Particularly my friend out of the province. I'm not completely and totally using you. I'm still in touch. I'm not not going schizophrenic. I'm just I think my friend would appreciate me seeing beauty everywhere, but just the way that I'm seeing it will scare the shit out of her. But anyway, all is well. Not to worry. Car is clean. This is Milka happy. She likes it when I wash cars. Anyway, bye for now. Okay, just came in the door and I put the frozen pizzas away. And what are the babies there? What are the babies is here? I don't even need to count yours now. And Agita's here. So everybody's fine. Now, I'm going to put away the rest of the groceries, shower, and edit and post. I don't know how much of that I'm going to use, I know, this is not like a brand new framework for me. I've used this one, the Dionysus and the levels and all of that stuff before, but I prefer not to use anything that sounds semi-spiritual because it can be misconstrued, and even talking about, the numinous. But, at this point, I kind of exhausted my other perspectives. And for the one for where I am now, not literally at all, not in any kind of organized religious sense, but just in terms of frameworks, I kind of need to evoke the so-called Godhead, or Dionysus. Not the Christian one. No. The other one, So, because it's the closest way of explaining the energy and what you connect with on those what I call so-called underworld journeys. Those underworld journeys. I mean, yes, it's not just, it is hedonistic, okay? But there's a reason why it's so-called addictive and powerful, because you're connecting with it. The it, Freud's id, but I think it was somebody else, it was Wilbur, who said that Freud didn't go deep enough when he talked about the instincts and the id. He didn't go that next level, So it's really Freud's id, but it's, it's not just, one's own, it's one's own experiences, It's not just one's own repressed stuff. That's in there too, and I see that come up, but it goes far, far, far deeper, and I've explored it, and I've come back, and it's harrowing, but it's also beautiful, it's connection with it, so naturally. It's going to be a bit of a pull, but it's okay. I think we've got the framework now, at least for now. And I will not say never, because I think that will kind of, I would rather not, but I would rather not say it, because if you say it, it's going to invoke the opposite. I'd rather use a framework that I rambled on about incoherently when I was leaving the restaurant. And I'm going to edit and post before I change my mind. And, my friends are going to get a little worried, but it's okay. I'm just reassure everyone I'm fine. I'm just, shifting my gears a little bit, So, but don't worry, I'm not going to be like chanting Hare Krishna, Rama, whatever in the street and selling flowers. It's not the nutty professor. The nutty professor's connection is a little different, and the return to the world is a little different. And I'm not preaching. I'm not telling anyone to stop doing anything or do anything or think something in some way. I'm just saying, for me, for where I'm going, where I am, what I want to do, what I want to share, and I want to share the experiences. I want to share. I want to fictionalize all of that stuff so that people can be identified. But I think that the travelers, the explorers, the shadow seekers, they deserve to be acknowledged and celebrated. Because they're heroic, They're not just junkies, So anyway, bye for now. Hello, everybody. I just took a shower, and one of the babies is there. At least I'm not crying, When I touch them, when I see them, I just, I'm just so happy to be back. Just so grateful to have them, So grateful they found me, So, and then the other one. In this one, I love every bit as much my unfriendly social distancing queen, Agita. I don't know how much of that shit I'm going to include and how much I'm going to remove, and how much space I have. My friends are going to worry about it. I got to reassure again. Everything's okay. I'm back. I'm here and just working on different frameworks, and I'm exploring my feelings, and I'm trying to see where I am and where I'm going. But it's all in the here and now, and I'm not going to say I will never do it, but I'm not going to say I'm going to binge again either. I'm just going to enjoy each moment, appreciate each moment, and just say what I think. It's going to be a little coherent, just incoherent, just try to keep myself away from the men in the white coats. But it's okay. I'm just, and I'm not born again. I'm not religious. I'm not preaching anything. I'm not seeing the G thing everywhere. I'm seeing the energy is just shifted, and I'm seeing kind of things a little bit differently. I have actually been here for extended periods of time during my long stretch of sobriety, 20 years of sobriety. But then everything shifted and kickstarted, and this time I went much, much, much further into it. So I've come back with it's kind of, at this point, before, I was always very careful about what I said, and, I didn't want people to think that he was, thinking something that could be construed as religion, which is not, by the way. It's just a framework and it's metaphors and it's all of that. So remember, if you let go of it, it will let go of you. Well, I let go of it. And I think it's letting go of me. But that's not a bad thing right now. As long as I'm here with my kids and I'm writing and I'm, not doing that stuff, and I'm talking about my thoughts, even if they're something that people wouldn't necessarily expect from me, But why not? Let's go with it. So from the four of us, we might as well stick to routine. Where are they? From the two babies and from Agita, So from the four of us, from the two babies, so one baby, and from Agita, and from the certainly nuttiest, and crazy but not in a certifiable way yet, and crazy professor, from the four of us, from our cat family, Bye for now. See you next podcast.